Another glorious day down here in the allotment. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I absolutely love it here. It is so nice, and I thought we could do some harvesting. Let's get started. Tomatoes first. Tomatoes. Been a bit ambitious today, and I've got lots of tubs for harvesting. Let's see if we can fill them all. Start off. These mole. Do you know what is annoying about me? Is I see this and I've bought the stuff for it, and I still haven't blooming done it. So that'll be my next job, I think. I know what you're thinking. Is that the only thing that's annoying about her? I find 90% of the things that she does annoying. Well, you're incredibly true, but it's not nice to say that. I still find that corn is creepy. Now, I don't know why, because Jasmine doesn't think it's the same. I find it quite terrifying because it sounds like someone's coming through the corn towards me. Don't like it. Although, saying that, I'm going to save seeds from Z corn and grow way more beds. I might do, in my head I want to do a whole entire half allotment in them, but I don't think I'll have enough room for all my tomatoes and everything. So I don't know, we'll see. But I'll at least do like from here all the way up that much corn on 2 allotments, maybe half an allotment of corn but over the 2. I don't know. Oh, is that the dreaded blight? Does it look too blighty? I don't know. To be honest, I'm so impressed with how much these have harvested. I'm gonna make ketchup. That is what I want. I want to get enough tomatoes now to make a couple of bottles of ketchup. Now, the issue I have with the old ketchup is that it actually, I haven't seen any recipes that doesn't involve 6 trillion tons of tomatoes. So I need 6 trillion tons of tomatoes. I think these plants are just getting a bit old. These ones here, the Roma. Oh, this is a tumbling Tom, this one. I actually quite like this tumbling Tom. Might spend a little while on maintenance. Some of these are splitted. Splitted is a technical term. So you can see how it was splitting, but now it's splitted. One way to treat this splitted is. It's not an issue anymore. Oh Christ, that's good. Chocolate cherry. Wow. That's amazing. That's like, sit down, stop what you're doing, stop talking. I know I do sometimes. That is so good. Ooh, bit of cat facing. Oops. Let's take some weight off for you, love. I always think when I'm doing this one, I'm like, oh, what variety do I think that is? Oh yeah, it's the yellow pepper. Now, I know that they don't look much like yellow peppers, but it's obviously, you have to trust the label. Why would I have a wrong label on that? Got to retie these tomatoes up. Where are you, darling? I see you. I see you. Oops, I just sat on something. sauce, not a seat. These are going to make such good sauce. I made little Jasmine a pot of cherry tomatoes. I make her, so like in the fridge, we have a really tall fridge, and the bottom shelf is basically what Jasmine nicks out the fridge. So I make her like these cherry tomatoes. And she's going, Mummy, these cherry tomatoes aren't big. Why are they not big? They're not cherry tomatoes, right? No. They're currant tomatoes. They're not the same. I'm not eating them. Well, she tried them. I think she ate the entire lot that I harvest. They're really good for kids. I'm going to turn my t-shirt into a basket. Give me a second. That this is affected by the same evil infliction. I'll destroy the evidence, it's fine. They look like tomatoes you get from the supermarket. And as I always get loads of questions, why do you harvest your tomatoes when they're not 100% ripe? And that's because the birds here, with all of their evil yet cunning, they will eat my tomatoes very happily if I leave them to ripen. Remember, this is not my garden. 90% of the time no one's here at the allotment. Thus you will notice that things will have a lot of pest damage, because I keep saying this, people have grown here for 70 years, pest damage, pest pressure. So they know where you grow and they know where to go for a nice meal. So you've got to think twice as smart as any pest. Rain finally. It's been raining. Can you imagine in the UK me being like, yay, rain? Normally it's like, oh, it's raining again. Well, why doesn't it stop raining? And then as soon as it stops raining, you're like, oh my goodness, please rain. Whew. Look at this beauty. You are so beautiful to me. Yes, indeed. You are everything I hope for and what more. That is a beautiful looking tomato. Check that out. I wonder how much that weighs. It's like as big as my hand. It's a beauty. In the top it goes. Oh my goodness. This is apparently the black Russian tomato. That is definitely not a black Russian tomato. Isn't that gorgeous though? Bit cat facing, yes. I won't deny it. But you tell me that's not a gorgeous tomato. So you can't. I can't hear that you are saying that anyway. You might be screaming it right now. Oh, there we go. No, don't fall off. Oh, dang. Should we try to ripen it? Yeah, let's. This is Tumbling Tiger. It's actually one of my favourite tomatoes of this year because of what it looks like. Nothing really else about it. I just think it looks nice. I think it's very pretty. It's quite prolific. And most importantly, it yields early. Check out the abundance. Hiya, if you like this channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. Cheers. Getting a load of splitting in these currant varieties. I think it's because it's yellow skins, which tend to be thinner. But there's currants everywhere. Just not very many ripe. Nice. Oops. bad, not bad at all. God, it is incredibly hot over here. Is it worth it? I'd say so. Another great harvest of these cucumbers. These are lemon cukes. That is the variety of lemon cucumber it is, and I really do love these cucumbers. They are fantastic. They do never get bitter, even when you don't water them. Even when they get really old, they're not bitter. I really am enjoying them. I quite like them the size of tennis balls. So as you can see, I'm pulling them up here. I also got a British cucumber. Can you believe it? That's a Telegraph over there. That thing is an amazing slug magnet. So as you can imagine, we don't get very many Telegraphs. So nice. This is a patty pan called Sunburst. It is a very lovely patty pan. I've been using it for all different things. It's basically the same as a zucchini. I just treat them the same, and they are really fantastic for cooking, frying, baking, and they produce zucchini bread, pizzas, you name it. It is a really fantastic crop to be having in the garden. They're very prolific, just like the zucchini are, so it is a really fantastic crop, especially if you like summer squashes. I do recommend it. It's a bit of a slow starter though, but now it is started, it is prolific. So here I'm going to be harvesting another bed of potatoes. This bed of potatoes is slightly smaller. It's roughly about 2 rows instead of the 3 that we normally do. So I'm going to go through and harvest the potatoes. Because I am harvesting them a little bit later, there is some rat damage. So I am actually only putting incredibly good ones into the bucket that I'm going to store, and the ones with rat damage I'm going to put to one side, because obviously I don't want to leave them in the bed because I'll get hundreds of potatoes. This bed I decided that is probably going to be cabbages. These are all white potatoes, and I have found that my white potatoes are more likely to be affected by pests than it was for my blue, red and purple potatoes. So that is something that I've obviously got to take into consideration when I'm selecting my varieties again. I really like the colourful varieties of potatoes. I mean, they don't taste any different, but I just think they look really colourful on the plate. I've in fact just cooked what we call rainbow chips, which are just a selection of all the coloured potatoes that we grow, and I just think they look so nice. Once again, all of these potatoes were grown in wood chips. However, really I should have earthed them up with more wood chips, but due to a number of reasons, it's been very hard to come by any wood chips here on the allotment. However, I have to say that I did mulch them up with some chicken bedding, and that resulted in some lovely spuds. So I was quite glad that I had that idea. Now, before I actually put cabbage into this bed, I'm probably going to put a couple of wheelbarrows of wood chip on there to really mulch, make sure that the mulch is really nice and thick so that we don't have that issue again. Now, when I was gardening, I never had issues with things like rats or mice over the allotment, and I say this all the time, due to the fact that people have been growing over the allotment for years without too much pest control. It has resulted in a very large pest population, so we do have issues with diseases in the soil and pests coming into the allotment and destroying things. So it might look like I've got quite a few damages here, which is very true, but it is something that everybody in the allotment is suffering with, and to be honest, I should have just harvested these a lot sooner. So that's what I'm going to be doing next time. I'm not going to be leaving them for so long. When you're in a home garden setting, to be honest, I wouldn't have bothered pulling these out of the ground until Christmas, because I know that they'd store better there than in my garage. But I've now learned that lesson. I'm so glad I pulled them up. I've got one and a bit beds left to do to pull up of potatoes. I got half a bucket in this bed, which is not bad considering it is a smaller bed. Like I just said, it's only a 2-line bed. Please remember to subscribe.